welcome back to Dish by RMU Culinary, a weekly installment where we show you delicious food. My name is Chef Brad with the Institute of Culinary Arts at Robert Morris University in downtown Chicago. On this week's episode, we're going to show you another recipe from our current pop-up restaurant called the Cozy Corner. Each quarter, our students, our senior level students, get to create a restaurant of their very own as part of our pop-up restaurant series. And so I'm going to show you one of their entree selections for this quarter that we're in now. And they chose kind of a brunchy type cozy cafe of a restaurant. And their vegetarian dish is a dish called potato latkes, which I'm sure most people have heard. But they've stepped it up a little bit with some sauteed vegetables and some sour cream sauce at the end. So I'm going to start off in a hot saute pan with a little bit of oil. This is just vegetable oil. And I've got half of a red bell pepper, half of a yellow bell pepper, and half of a yellow squash. And I've sliced both peppers into strips, and I've got the squash kind of into triangles. So I cut them into fourths and then sliced them. We're going to saute these in a hot pan, and we're going to season them up. And then while those are sauteing, we'll make our potato latkes as the base of this dish. Each quarter, our pop-up restaurant starts at the very first day of class, and our senior level students get to come up with a theme, a name, and a concept within the first 15 or 20 minutes of class. And then they come up with the entire restaurant, the menu, all the recipes, the look as customers walk into the dining room within the first 2.5 weeks of class. And then they're open with a soft opening week 3 of our quarter, and then to the public week 4. So it's a really fast turnaround. And it's a fun process to see and to be a part of, because you actually are the one making the decisions for an actual business. So we added our vegetables to a hot pan. That is the number one thing when you are sauteing something. And sauteing is one of our dry cooking techniques that we teach our students in their freshman fundamentals class, where you're cooking in a hot pan with just enough oil to coat the bottom of the pan. And the purpose of the oil in this case is to prevent the vegetables from sticking to the pan. It's not necessarily allowing the oil to cook the food, as is the case when you're pan frying or when you're deep frying, when you're using quite a bit more oil in those cooking techniques. So while those cook, we're going to add a little black pepper, a little salt, and then we're going to season them with some garlic and some Italian seasoning after they've gotten a little bit of their moisture cooked out of them and they've started to caramelize just a little bit. So what I've already done is I've got 2 potatoes that I've peeled and grated. And I'm going to put them into a kitchen towel, a clean kitchen towel, because as you can see on my cutting board, there's a lot of moisture that came out of those potatoes. And when you're making potato latkes or potato pancakes, you want to get as much moisture out as you can. So put them in a towel and squeeze as much of that liquid out. And that's all the water that's within the potato. And so we're going to set that to the side. And I need just about a tablespoon of grated onion to add to this as well. And the onion is just going to add a little bit of sweetness, a little bit of that punchy onion flavor to the potato latkes. So I got about a tablespoon there. We're going to add this to a mixing bowl. I'm going to get rid of this. And I'm also going to add in 1 egg. Give our vegetables a toss. And I'm going to beat that egg and the onion up just to get the egg mixed up a little bit. And then we can add in our grated potato. And as you can see, it's a lot drier than what it was before. And that's just going to make sure that we have a really nice, firm potato pancake in the end. And then I've got about a tablespoon of all-purpose flour. I'm going to add in a pinch of salt. Potatoes are very bland, so we want to make sure we season it really well. And then this mixture just gets tossed together. We'll form these into about 3-inch pancakes and saute them in another hot pan with more oil. So we want our pan to be hot for that as well. This is a very simple potato pancake recipe, but our students this quarter, like I said, have elevated it with these vegetables that we're going to add on top. So we're going to add in our garlic and our Italian seasoning. And we're going to get this pan heated up. Just enough oil to coat the bottom of the pan is all you need. And we want our pan to be hot enough so that when we cook our potato pancakes or potato latkes, that we get a really nice golden brown color on the pancakes without burning them. And if the pan's not hot enough, then the potato pancakes are really just going to steam, and they're not going to get any color on them, and that's not what we want. So pan has to be really super hot in order to make this happen. Also, you want to make sure that all of your flour is mixed in really nicely, as well as the egg. So the mixture is fairly dry, but the egg is going to bind the potatoes together, and as is the flour, and so is the potato starch within the potatoes, which is why I didn't rinse the shredded potatoes after I grated them. A lot of people do that, but that washes away some of the natural potato starch, which is going to be a really nice binder for your potato pancakes. So our vegetables are really nice and tender. They've got really good color. We still have the brightness from our red bell pepper mixed nicely in with the yellow from the yellow bell pepper and the squash. So anytime you add something to a pan, you want to hear some sizzle. You want to see the oil sizzling around the pancakes. So I'm going to put them down in there. This recipe makes 3 or 4 decent-sized potato pancakes. I try not to flatten them out too much because I don't like flat potato pancakes. I like a little bit of texture to them. I want them to be tender and soft on the inside and crispy on the outside. So we're going to let these cook for about 2 minutes per side. We'll flip them, and then we'll plate up when they are golden brown on both sides. So after about 2 minutes, I flipped our potato latkes. We got some really nice golden brown color on top of the potato pancakes. Letting them cook for just a few more seconds on the second side. Whenever we saute or deep fry something, we like to season it right at the very end with just a little bit more salt, just to help make sure that it's seasoned really nicely. So then we're going to place our potato pancakes into our dish, kind of laying them on top of each other. And then we've got our sauteed vegetables on top. Beautiful smells from the Italian seasoning and the garlic. And then to garnish, we've got, this is just a sour cream sauce that the students make that we're going to drizzle over the top. And we've got a few chopped chives for some green color. And this is the potato latkes with sauteed vegetables. For this recipe and more information on Robert Morris and our culinary arts program, please visit robertmorris.edu/dish. We'll see you next week.